Welcome back to the collaboration space. I'm your host, Mathew DeFreitas. AI has disrupted how we work for the better. Employees are more productive and engaged at the office, and customers are happier. Now AI is shaking up something new, and that's video content creation. Joining me today to dive into this topic is Stu Siegal, our creative director, and AVI-SPL Vice President of Solutions Enablement, Derrick Kelly. Stu, Derrick, welcome to the collaboration space.
Mathew, nice to see you.
Thanks for having me back on.
Yeah, thank you both again for joining. Stu, many work with or know of AI's impact on workplace collaboration. However, AI video content, I imagine that may kind of flip the script for some in the production or corporate communication space. So can you give us some insight into it and maybe kind of share how big this is for us?
Sure, I would be glad to. Rather than start talking about it, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look at a spot that we just recently produced and pushed live, created entirely with AI. We'll deconstruct it a little bit when we come back, and then we'll talk about just what a game changer this really, really is for brands.
Absolutely. Let's watch.
You didn't see a production crew.
You didn't spend six figures.
Your timeline was days, not months.
These are your stories.
And we created them together using tools that were unimaginable just yesterday.
Now with AVI-SPL, you can tell the brand stories you've always wanted to tell, with no budget constraints, no time constraints, and no geographic limitations.
Okay, so what does this mean for brands, Stu, and what excites you most about generative AI video?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a total disruption to the industry. It's the biggest disruption in the history of the industry. And if we take a look at that spot, it's easy to see why. So previously, for a brand, a spot with that scope and that breadth wouldn't really get past the idea stage, just wouldn't even be considered. Too many locations, too many impediments, too much talent, too much time, too much cost. For perspective, we produced that spot for a fraction of what it would have cost, a small fraction of what it would have cost to travel to an Arctic environment, a desert environment. We produced it in 7 days, not months. No one traveled anywhere. And as I'd like to say, no cameras were harmed in the filming of that production. It was produced entirely with text prompts using a variety of platforms, primarily Google Veo 3 platform, which we're going to dive into, and Derrick's going to give us some background on. Total game changer. I mean, I don't think it just changes how video is produced. This changes everything about the video cycle. It changes what kinds of videos brands can now produce, the scale, the volume, the frequency. Everything's different now when the budgets are so dramatically changed and the time from idea to finished product is so different. With one big caveat, that I know we're going to dive into a little bit, which is it's still tricky. There's still a gap between signing up for a platform account and typing in some text and having a brand compliant high production value spot come out the other end. And what we're working on, and what we'll talk about here, is how we're going to bridge that gap for brands to make exactly that possible.
Well, and I just want to take a quick, small step back because you mentioned, it is a total game changer for the corporate communication space and production. Can you speak to that as far as, with your experience and vast experience that is in the industry, and the terminology game changer, how big in the industry is it actually?
It's hard to actually quantify. I don't think people in the industry and certainly outside of the industry have even been able to wrap their minds around it yet. I think in terms of brand communications, it's everything from the most simplest, explainer videos all the way up to high production value pieces like the one you saw and more. There's literally, the barriers to entry to all sorts of different types of content will now fall for brands with these tools in the right hands. So the ability to not have to hire crews or to hire minimal crews for hybrid productions, to be able to have the ability to have a vision and bring it to life and control it and push it out and communicate with your audience. It's never been possible on this scale before.
So I imagine then that there's got to be quite a bit of R&D, especially on our end, going into this right now.
There's a lot of R&D, and I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm going to toss to Derrick to give us a little bit of depth on that. On our end, in the creative group here, we're looking to unlock what amounts to that secret sauce, because as I talked about, there's that gap between putting some text in a platform and getting a brand compliant piece out the other side. That's the vision that you initially envisioned. These tools are tools like any others, and there's multiple platforms, and how one brings them together and how one plays them just like an instrument or orchestrates them like a large production, that's the secret sauce. And I think that's what's going to unlock this power for brands. And to that end, what we're working on is developing that secret sauce and also leveraging our deep relationship with Google, because Google's platform, not just their image creation platform, but all of the tools in Google Suite are going to give us the power to harness multiple platforms and all kinds of new workflows. And I'll let Derrick talk a little bit about just how what a powerful player Google is going to be in that space, and how advantageous it is that we have such a deep relationship with them. Derrick?
Yeah, thanks, Stu. Google as a company, most people know who they are, at least probably have experienced them in some capacity throughout their lives. Google has been known for it to be a company to spend a lot of time researching new methods of doing things, new ways of accomplishing things, putting opportunities for innovation out there into the world and seeing what kind of develops off of that. This is an evolution of that kind of as a whole, and as Stu has insinuated, like just the level of shift that this brings to an established industry, an industry that in many cases kind of started getting into just, this is how we do things, this is the way that it needs to be done. And going back to kind of some earlier comments, this requires a complete change in thinking in terms of how you approach business. This is not just here's a faster tool to do something we did previously. This is a brand new tool that requires a whole different approach, a whole different mindset, and looking at this from a completely different set of eyes. That requires that effort of not only individualized R&D on teams that are producing, but in conjunction with the R&D being produced by the actual manufacturer itself from the Google side of things. Those collaborations, those efforts together, how we utilize the existing tool space inside of Google Cloud Platform, inside of Google Workspace, how we then bring that together with these expanded tools in the Veo and other additional AI tools that fall underneath this umbrella, really brings tremendous opportunity for growth, for capabilities, and for imaginative thinking on how this can be applied across a number of things. Because Google is such a big player in a lot of these areas, you can get lost in kind of what they're doing. Our global relationship with them, how we've been going to market with them, how we've been working with them in the background to create this type of environment where true growth can happen on this platform, and true growth in how we approach using this platform for customers to deliver high level of content, really, speaks to our relationship with them, their willingness to work with us to expand, this across, multiple different areas. And then our global reach combined with their global reach creates a real true opportunity to not just have this be focused in a very small area, but actually look at this for global corporate brands, for global messaging, for communications, for this can extend into multiple different parts of not only the Google stack, but as Stu kind of mentioned earlier, all the other tools that can connect into the Google stack, because Google does offer a lot of interoperability with other tools that just extends the reach even further and gives a real big opportunity to be very innovative in terms of how you approach utilizing these tools in this type of space.
It's a great point. Google's got a much bigger vision of this than anyone on the surface could imagine. There's such a deep stack of tools that they're building out to integrate multiple platforms, to give innovators like AVI-SPL the power to bring together different solutions all together under one umbrella, and be able to enable brands to unlock the power of this full suite of tools. And that's our mission here at AVI-SPL, right? We're a full stack collaboration partner. We want to be able to help our brands and our clients at every step of the way. And this partnership with Google and its various platforms is going to unlock enormous potential for folks in the enterprise broadcast space, the digital signage space, corporate communication space. Every space that technology and communications touches, this is going to have a touch on it, as Derrick said. And the things, and Derrick did hint at it a little bit, the things that we're working on together with Google to integrate these tools and to bring our expertise and special knowledge together with them can be a real game changer.
It's certainly an exciting time to be a content creator, Derrick and Stu. Tools like Google Veo 2 and 3 are clearly changing that game, as you said earlier, and letting you turn those prompts and different actions and different descriptions all into one sort of photorealistic cinematic video production experience, all done in a very short amount of time, as you mentioned. And with AVI-SPL, teams can confidently start exploring that bold new video production concepts and vision that they're looking to achieve. And I just want to say thank you for your time and sharing your insights today.
Thank you, Matthew. A pleasure. Hopefully this isn't just the first of many conversations as we start to roll out some new things.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely tons of opportunity. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and this will be the first of many conversations, I'm sure. To everyone watching and listening, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. And if you prefer the audio version of this podcast, just search on your favorite podcast app, The Collaboration Space. Thanks again, and goodbye for now. For more information, visit avispl.com/services/video-production.